Hi folks, here we are today in Stirlingshire in the heart of Scotland. I'm out with my dogs Otto and Champ, and welcome back to the Tartan Tripper channel. However, today we're going to do a little bit different from the usual format, and I'm going to take a walking tour giving hints and tips on all-inclusive holidays and what you should take with you, especially if it's long haul. So I got myself a list and two dogs that are roaming free. Anyway, start off with the flight. Because it's a 10-11 hour flight, I'd say take some loose clothing and a couple of layers, because even though you might be going to hot sunnier climes, on the flight it can get actually pretty cold, especially if you're tired and want to get your head down for a bit. Which actually brings me on to, they will give you normally a small fleecy blanket and also a pillow, which if it's in my wife's case with a sore back, she likes to take the pillow to use on the sunbed once you get to your destination, just for the small of her back, and also when she's sleeping in the bed due to having a bit of a back problem. So that's a handy thing to stuff into your hand luggage at the end of your long flight. Also, make sure you have a good pair of headphones if you want to watch any films on the flight, because I've got these small, well, I don't know if they're cheapy ones, but small headphones for my mobile phone, and basically the purr of the engine drowns out whatever I'm meant to be watching. Whether it's worth watching or not is a different matter. Also quite handy is the hand sanitizers, a small bottle of that, if you can get, I suppose, 100 mils through customs. Especially if you've got kids, just to quickly wipe their hands if they're going through a dirty airport and they're sitting going to eat something. Or baby wipes, they're also useful. So also with the clothing, I think try and use, I think they have loose or larger socks just so you don't cut off your circulation. Seems to be a handy hint. Oh, and also go easy on the booze, because if you it might seem obvious, but if you're trying to get some sleep and catch up or you're a bit jet lagged, it's not always that conducive, no matter how tempting it is, especially on the way back home if you're maybe having to jump straight into a car. Well, I don't need to state the obvious. Anyway, at the hotel, this is some things for kids we've discovered over the years. They will charge you an absolute fortune for things like a beach ball. Last time, 2 years ago, we were in the Dominican Republic. It was 30 American dollars for well, it was a thing like a volleyball, but 30 American dollars. And I think, a Lilo wasn't far away from that price as well. So if you can get something perhaps at one of the big sports shops or on Amazon, buy some of them, along with a snorkel and a mask. That's quite good fun for keeping the children amused and the adults if you're at a resort. Certainly years ago in Cuba, to go snorkeling there was excellent, but I found that there's quite a lot of seaweed in the Caribbean, or certainly the side where Dominican Republic was, and actually on the Pacific coast last year in Mexico, the seaweed's not great. So but take the snorkel and mask anyway, because guess what, it'll cost you a hell of a lot to buy at the hotel shop. Not a thing we did, but maybe if you have a toddler, well, I suppose it's quite a good idea to try and book yourself or reserve a high chair for when you're eating in the buffet restaurant or in the more a la carte restaurants. Of course, some of the restaurants you have to be over 18. I think a couple of years ago we were allowed to go to 17 restaurants, my wife and I. Unfortunately, with a 15-year-old, that narrowed it down to, well, I'm saying narrowed it down to, but it was 10 restaurants. So, so we missed out, but as you can imagine, we didn't starve regardless. Also, quite handy if it's just at the end of the day on the beach, or you've been to the beach or the pool and you're just getting ready for dinner. Or maybe this is not advisable, but if you're just having the kids chilling out in the room with maybe their iPad or watching a bit of television, is a little packet of Haribos to bring with you, certainly from the United Kingdom. They're a hell of a lot cheaper than they would be to buy abroad, or Pringles as well, which are usually a couple of British pounds these days, but they could be 3-4 times that when you're in certainly out in the Caribbean. Okay, let me think now. Going back to your room, I would say make sure to take a sort of thin pair of hotel slippers, unless your hotel gives you slippers, but the type that you get with that are disposable from a hotel. If you've got any spare ones, take them with you, or a thin pair of flip-flops that you wear only in the bedroom. A few years ago we were in Sri Lanka, got off the airplane, got to the hotel, got in the shower, got out the shower, then I stood on a piece of glass, a slither of glass that somebody had dragged in. I don't know if it was myself, a family, the maid, but there was a slither of glass, pierced my foot. My wife managed to pluck out with a pair of tweezers the bit of glass that was sticking out my foot. Unfortunately, for the rest of my holiday and for a month on, there was a bit of glass in my foot, and I used to yelp each time I took a step, and it all of a sudden found its way to the nerve of my feet. So from then on, I've been very conscious about not just walking about the hotel room with bare feet. So take a pair of flip-flops that you can wear indoors, not just ones that are for the beach or the pool or out and about. Also, a bin liner for dirty washing is a useful thing. Just to separate stuff, or have all the dirty washing put into one of the suitcases when you leave, and then it's all together. Unless you're going to use the hotel laundry service, but I think using that, you get charged by individual prices rather than weight, so that can rack up. Unless you're at somewhere close by where they have a laundry in town, that might be a useful option as well. But one of these things that you can certainly get on Amazon these days is tubes of clothes washing liquid. So they come in 100 mils. You can sometimes get a 3-pack 100 ml tubes that you can use in the sink or the bath or the shower to sort of wash pants and socks, to then hang up outside, which is, that's the other thing. Take some clothes pegs, which are always useful at the end of the day for hanging up trunks and swim costumes or bikinis, and also pants and socks. You might actually want to even wash sort of your beach or swimming pool. Hold on, I'll get my dog. Champ! Your beach or swimming pool clothes, and I'm getting distracted by my dog. You get for your t-shirts that you've been wearing on the beach, you might just want to give them a quick rinse to use again. Whereas perhaps if you're wearing nightwear for going out at night, or evening wear, you might not want to rewash that, but that is entirely up to you. But clothes pegs are a very handy thing to take. I've actually seen some people take a wash line to put on their balcony, but quite often you get a rack to hang on clothes that comes with an apartment. In your bag, also take a medical bag with baby wipes or paracetamol, ibuprofen, antihistamines, certainly cream for mosquitoes, or in Scotland, in this woodland it's okay this morning, but midges they call them. And I'm sure somebody in your family will be up to date on what you should perhaps take in a medical bag, but that kind of stuff, because if you do need to go to the local pharmacist and get a prescription, I've seen it before, to get a small basic cream that would cost you £2-3 in the UK could easily cost you $40 out towards Mexico or certainly the Dominican Republic. And if you're in Cuba, they struggled when we were there to even have medicine. So that was an issue out there. Also, perhaps in this day and age, if you've got an Amazon Fire Stick, you might want to take that, but make sure you've got an adapter along for your phone chargers, etc. And remember, is it a European adapter you're taking, or are you taking, I'm not sure if it's called American, but there's a slightly different shape, but just check, go online and just check what adapter you need, plug adapter for your specific hotel. But a Fire Stick's quite handy if you're deciding you're having a chill night, or you just want to get the kids out of the sun and just get them to sit and chill and watch a bit of television. But a Fire Stick's quite light. And if you're sort of going all-inclusive, you're probably got over 20 kilos of baggage, so it depends how much you feel you're going to use. to fit that in. Plus, I think you'll have probably a 10 kilo hand luggage if you're coming from the UK. Let me see, anything else? Yeah, quite a handy thing is like a little, I'd call it a little man bag, but it's a little plastic pouch for putting your, well, see if there's any ducks here. My dogs don't go and chase them, or they're sitting in the pond there. But is to take a charger, or not a charger, but for your phone, is a little plastic pouch and take it to the beach. And just for, if you're like my child who's continually on his phone, sitting on the beach, it's just a good way of protecting, right boys, out of there, come on, out of there, come on. There's the ducks over there, you can just see them. It's a good way of protecting your phone from getting little bits of sand in it, or getting it actually wet, probably more to the point, it's soaked. Especially in this day and age when you see people taking photos of themselves standing in the water. It's quite a good thing to have these little plastic pouches, which I'm sure you get online. You tend to also see them in camp shops, where in days gone by I used to put a paper map into these pouches, and also to put a couple of dollars, or we're going to Mexico, so it'll be Mexican pesos, so it's quite a handy little bag to have. Excuse me, I've got the hay fever. Also, you can buy larger pegs to put your beach towel over the beach bed or the sun lounger, and it just stops it from blowing away. Certainly in the Caribbean, if it's hurricane season, the rain can come, and also it can get pretty windy and the towel can blow away. But if you're going away for lunch, you'll see most people, what they do is just fold their beach bed, or their sun lounger, should I say, in half, and it sort of traps the towel underneath. I've actually also seen some people with very thin sleeping mats or inflatable lilos that they lie on top of the beach bed, which my wife informed me is for people with bad backs. Whether it works or not is, of course, a personal choice, but if you can get a lilo for £5 or £6, it might be worth folding it up and taking it in your bag as well, just to use for a bit of comfort on the beach. Also, cotton buds are quite a good thing to take, like getting sand in your mobile phone. Just if you've been on the beach or rolling about, especially with young kids, and you're getting the sand in your hair and your face and your eyes and your neck, the cotton buds are quite a good thing for just teasing out any sand I found in the ears. So it's yeah, I would say that was quite a handy thing to have, even just at the end of the day, once you've had salty water in your eardrum all day. It just can clean things up. On the note also of hygiene, with the baby wipes, you might not want to think about this, but you might be eating more food or drinking more than you normally would, or richer foods, or certainly spicier foods than you were used to, and you might be going to the toilet a bit. Sometimes the toilet paper in the hotel can be a little harsh on the bottom, to say the least. So I, believe it or not, I've heard of people taking some of their own chosen brands of toilet roll from back home, which is a little bit gentler on the backside. Also, another option is to have the baby wipes, just because with stating all the very obvious, it might be getting a bit tender down there. But so the baby wipes, or the antiseptic wipes, are certainly a good thing to take for numerous reasons. We've never done it, but you certainly see our American or Canadian brothers and sisters. They have very large cups. I think they call them bubba cups or thermal cups, that they put perhaps booze in, or maybe just soft drinks. And they seem to like to have these big cups and then stand in the swimming pool. And I'm not 100% sure where they go to the toilet. Far be it from me to say. But last year the pool was evacuated a couple of times with sickness floating about. But I don't know if sickness was the only thing in the pool. I stuck to the beach. But there you have it. But I did see people, what they were doing with the thermal cups. They were also getting a second one, and they were filling it with ice. So even if you were just to take the small plastic cups for a cocktail or a Coca-Cola, it was from the hotel, to have the thermal cup and fill it with ice to have beside you at the pool or beside you at the beach is probably quite a useful thing to have, rather than filling up 1.5 litres of vodka and Coke, which some people seem to do, but I guess you're in bed by 5 in the afternoon by that point. Also, a thing called a water bladder is an easy thing to pack from either the UK or Canada or France or Germany, or wherever you're coming. It can fold into your luggage, and you can fill that up with a couple of litres of water. But in the heat, it probably gets warm quite quickly, but it's quite a handy thing if you're wanting to just go to a refill station and fill up a water bladder. Once again, you get them online, I guess, or at a camp shop. I'm trying to think of anything else. I've got a few more I'll do, and then I'm going to stop the video. I don't know how much charge I got. This is the first time I've done a video this long. Normally at the Tartan Tripper, our videos are about 6, 7, 8 minutes long. Anyway, these dogs are seeming very well behaved. We take with us, and it's just a family choice, we like black pepper on our meats or on our pastas, etc. And invariably you might get to go to a steak restaurant or an Italian restaurant or a seafood restaurant, and they will give you salt and pepper. But quite often they won't have cracked black pepper, and it's just a thing for us that we like to do. So we go to the supermarket and buy these plastic, you can get salt grinders, crystal salt grinders, and black pepper corns in a plastic grinder. And they're a pretty handy thing to take, like you would if you were to go camping, which you've done in years gone by. And we just take that with us to the table and crack over our steaks, or pork chops, or whatever it is you're going to be having. But it just, it's a thing we like to do, is take a peppercorn with us, because normally it's just a powdery black pepper you get. Also, take yourself a little bottle stop, because you might feel that you're wanting to go to the room after a long day at the beach, or you've been out on an excursion, etc. And if you take the bottle stop, what you can do is, if you've had enough wine but you want to take some up to the apartment but you don't want to carry a glass, they might have a cork, or they might be a bit funny about it, or it might be a screwed cap but they've thrown that in the bin. It's just actually take a little bottle stop with you, pop it on, and off you go. Back to the apartment. Right, boys, calm down. And while you're dealing with the waiters in the restaurant, if you tip them, I've heard of people saying, oh well, just tip them in dollars, but as a point was made, they live in Mexico, certainly for this year, or whatever country it may be in. Tip them in their normal currency, and then they can spend that without having to transfer it or barter it in the black market, or get an exchange rate and get knocked for commission, etc. So we tend to try and get the local currency, also US dollars though, but get the local currency and use that for tipping. And if it's dollars or pesos for Mexico, certainly, make sure when you go to the exchange booth you get a pile of $1 bills, or unless you're feeling flushing, it's a pile of $20 bills, but have $1 bills so you can tip for a drink, or you can tip the waiter for whatever it is, a couple of dollars here, a couple of dollars there, but make sure you have sort of smaller notes. Same with the pesos. And also, tip your roommate. Remember, your roommate is probably your best friend, because she is the one that's going to be in your room when you're not there, cleaning up all your personal stuff. Hopefully they will be of good character, we've never had any issues, but make sure to tip your roommate and keep her sweet. I have learnt this is a good thing on a human level to do, and it's a very wise thing to do to keep your possessions. And I'm just going to run this down. Also, with the hotels, you might be happy at the buffet restaurants, but if you're fortunate enough, your hotel might have options. Boys, this way, come on. Your hotel might have other options. Champ, this way, now. There's deer out here, and there's baby foxes at this time of year. So this is a sunny June in Scotland. It's about 6 in the morning, but I think everybody sleeps in Scotland at this time of day. So to take at the buffet restaurant, you can walk into buffet restaurants normally. However, for the a la carte restaurants, you'll struggle quite often to just walk into an a la carte restaurant, so you have to book in advance. So quite a good thing is to, once you get there and you've done a reconnaissance of the whole hotel and grounds, which I like to do on the first morning and find all the different nooks and crannies, is to, my wife's quite good at it, is to either book online or go up to reception and book your slot. So unfortunately you have to book a specific slot and a specific time and a specific day of when you want to go to a la carte restaurants. But get that done early, and then you know you've got peace of mind, and that's that done. I'm also I encourage our child to learn. There's 3 of us, so wherever we go in the world, I get him to count 1, 2, and 3 and learn how to say that. So it's dos, cerveza, una café, or tres Coca-Cola. So as long as he knows up to 3, that's a good start. And how to say hello, please, or maybe ask for a table, and how to greet someone. And I find if you greet a member of staff in their own language, especially with a little child, their heart melts a little bit, or they appreciate that you've made the effort, and you can get... It just makes for a more harmonious world, I guess, in this day and age. So maybe going a thing like an app called Duolingo is the one I use. I'm sure there are many others, and just learn if it's French or German or Spanish or Puerto Rican. Just try and learn a few words before you go on holiday. I tell you what, we've gone a bit of a loop here. That's 20 minutes. So this is us at the Tartan Tripper channel. I hope this has been informative, and I hope this is going to work. As I say, it's a different format than we used to. As I'm recording this with my mobile phone, I'm hoping I'll be able to put a click and a link for other videos to watch to give you more travel tips and inspirations. And as we say here, remember all you bonny lads and lassies, may the wind always be at your back and the sunshine on your faces. Okay, thanks for watching. Cheers.